December 28th, the Church remembers one of its most haunting feasts, the massacre of the Holy Innocents. Within the joy of Christmas week lies this dark commemoration of violence, the first bloodshed because of Christ's birth. The story comes from Matthew's Gospel, chapter 2. When the Magi deceived Herod and didn't return to report the child's location, the king erupted in rage. He calculated the timing from when the star appeared and ordered the execution of every male child 2 years old and under in Bethlehem and the surrounding area. Matthew saw this fulfill in the prophet Jeremiah. A voice was heard in Ramah, Rachel weeping for her children, refusing to be consoled. But who was this tyrant capable of such horror? Herod the Great was a builder of magnificent temples and a murderer of his own family. He had already killed his wife, his mother-in-law, and 3 of his sons. The Roman Emperor Augustus joked it was safer to be Herod's pig than his son. For a paranoid king who'd eliminated his own children, slaughtering peasant infants was simply another calculation of power. Scholars estimate only 6 or 7 boys died in tiny Bethlehem, a footnote to Herod's other atrocities, which may explain why the historian Josephus never mentioned it. But those few deaths echo through history. Artists have grappled with this horror for centuries. Peter Paul Rubens in 1611 painted violence unleashed, writhing bodies, desperate mothers, brutal soldiers, all rendered in dramatic light and shadow that forces us to feel the chaos. That same year, Guido Reni painted the same subject completely differently. Classical balance, serene angels hovering above with palms of martyrdom, suggesting that earthly tragedy opens onto eternal glory. Centuries later, pre-Raphaelite William Holman Hunt showed us something mystical. The murdered children's spirits awakening in supernatural light, accompanying the Holy Family to Egypt, their suffering instantly transformed into heavenly triumph. The palm branches the angels carry symbolize the martyrs' victory over death. The crowns of flowers represent both childhood's fragile innocence and heaven's eternal reward. Why does the Church place this feast within Christmas week? Because the Incarnation cannot be separated from the world's violence. The light enters darkness, and darkness fights back. These children are called Christianity's first martyrs, the flowers of martyrdom. They died not by confession, but by proximity to Christ. They never chose their sacrifice, yet tradition holds they received baptism through their innocent blood. Medieval Christians even developed the boy bishop tradition. On December 28th, a child would rule as bishop for a day while adults served below, inverting the usual order. It was their way of honoring innocence and mocking tyranny's abuse of power. The massacre of the innocents isn't safely confined to ancient history. Children still die in conflicts they didn't create. Innocence remains vulnerable to power's calculations. December 28th calls us to lament, to remember, to protest all violence against children, and to proclaim hope that no innocent suffering is meaningless, that God can bring triumph from tragedy. Herod thought he was eliminating threats. He was creating martyrs. He feared losing his earthly throne. They gained heavenly crowns. On this feast, we remember Christmas is not escape from darkness, but light entering it. The innocents died because of Christ, and they live because of Christ. Even the most senseless suffering is not beyond redemption's reach.